Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 1008. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
First off, as we record this now, it's 10:19 Mountain Time on Saturday, March the 29th. So 26 hours, or a little less than, before this episode goes out. I have got my Radio Free Skaro mail open, just in case any late arriving BBC official press releases announcing things come in, so we don't have to do a 15-minute insert at the top of the show like we did last week. So we're on top of it now. Yeah, that was fun.
That is a danger of the hype train.
I know it is. What I liked about it is that because Grant Burke was on the show last week, and we did the full recording, and then I wasn't expecting to get Grant back on the show. I just like, I don't want to trouble with him, and then literally I get a message. So he called me back in. Okay, come on back, Graham. You had things to do, but all right. So we talked about episode titles for 15 minutes on the show last week, but hey, now the official.
We have more to talk about than just titles. Yeah.
So much. Yeah, the official Disney Plus press launch is upon us now with a new trailer, with new key arts seemingly every day. Ncuti, Gatwa, and Varada Sethu are in the U.S., or at least they were. I don't know if they're back in the U.K. now, doing press on various things as well. And then we'll cover another interesting comment as well on the other side of things to sort of bring us down a little bit. But that's later. That's later on the show. Let's talk about the new trailer in English and full HD and not suddenly on German. It's funny that SFX Magazine came out and they did a bit of a preview, and they continually refer to that German trailer as if the Disney one hadn't been released yet, which of course it hadn't. But then, of course, it came out probably a day before that SFX came out, so it seemed kind of outdated. But trailer, images, Phil Collins, Take Me Home, off the iconic 1985 album, No Jacket Required.
I forgot how much I liked that song.
I did. Listen, everyone dumped on Phil Collins for a while in the 80s. It's a top quality album.
Hey, No Jacket Required is a good album. I had it on cassette, I believe. And also... he's always been good.
Yep.
Like, what the hell? What are you dumping on him for?
I know. Yeah.
We are middle-aged white guys. Of course, we like Phil Collins.
That's a good point.
I met his daughter once here 20 years ago.
Really?
She was an actress in Vancouver, and she was perfectly nice.
Oh, well. Phil Collins.
For those who may not like Phil Collins, I will happily point you at the South Park stuff where they rag on him because he beat out South Park for the Oscar for
and he should
for Tarzan.
That's the only South Park thing I like.
Yeah.
but still,
I like how we just like veered. We could talk about Doctor Who. We could talk about Phil Collins. Listen, cutting my teeth as a young wannabe drummer in my youth. Phil Collins, No Jacket Required, specifically Inside Out. The song Inside Out on that album was one of the things where they really got me into drumming. So yeah, Phil Collins, well done. Glad you're finally immortalized in a Doctor Who trailer. Take Me Home. Very, very well done. And like with a bit of a symphonic element to it as well. Like it's augmented and stuff to sort of match the trailer. It's not just a straight up music for the whole thing. But there's more images and stuff and dancing and twirling and dresses and aliens and stuff. Robots. I think there's even the Interstellar Song Contest. So I was trying to find the quote from Russell T Davies in his Doctor Who magazine production notes, but he wrote a lot of those things, and so it's tough to find it. But I know at some point he mentioned, I've just inserted a thing from the Dalek's Master Plan into a Doctor Who script. Just imagine that. Something from the Dalek's Master Plan from 1965 on BBC One in 2020, whatever. And if you look at the quick shot of one of the singers on stage at the Interstellar Song Contest,
the one with the red kind of spiderweb.
Yeah, I think that is the same species as one of the delegates from the Dalek's master plan. The same one that hands Verity Lambert a cigarette in one of her leaving Doctor Who press photo calls. It's very close. So that's my guess, is somehow one of the delegates.
I mean, if you're going to do anything for the Dalek's master plan, other than Mavic Chen and his big hair, you better be one of the delegates.
Yeah, I agree. So
and don't do Mavic Chen in the year of our Lord 2025, for God's sakes. Come on.
The great thing is, I think they basically do a roll call. Is it episode 2? Is it Day of Armageddon that exists, that they do a roll call of all the delegates as they come down the plank and their weird walking styles and stuff like that?
Yeah, because animated, it's not... The beauty of it is live action, so it must be around. Yeah, because that walking is just I love it so much. It's
amazing, and so I'm going to watch Dalek's Master Plan episode 2 just to make sure I get the name of their planet, just in case they probably introduce this performer as this person Malfa or something. I don't know. So that was my main takeaway, is that Dalek's Master Plan potentially.
If Marvel does it, if Star Wars does it, you're angry, and if Doctor Who does it, you're enraptured.
That's true.
Not that I'm not going to do the same thing. So
no. I mean, it's not like Dalek's Master. I mean, it doesn't exist, so we got to sort of like.
Yeah, you can rationalize this all you want. It's the same behavior. Let's be honest here. You love Easter eggs when it's something you like.
Yeah, I suppose.
If they mentioned the 72 Summit series somehow in Doctor Who, you would probably be clinically. You'd be committed.
Can you imagine? That would be way out of left field.
I would check on your health
if they the 72 Summit series. Wow. Well, a fella can dream, I guess.
There's no earthly reason for that to ever happen, but
that's true. Anything from the new trailer or trailers? There's a whole bunch of different trailers. The BBC have put out stuff with them sort of like appearing in other shows and stuff, and the BBC ident has sort of had some stuff there too. But the Disney trailer, anything jumping at you while watching that?
No, it's the same one as the German one, so no.
Oh, did you watch that one closely when it came out?
Fairly close, a couple times. Okay. I mean, I turned the sound off because I didn't understand a word they were saying. A little with the subtitles. The subtitles seemed a little more, how do I put this? German inflected, like a little more, not authoritarian, but authoritative. Whereas this,
say years ago, come on, they've moved on from it. Okay,
I know that, but the Germans tend to be blunt. Okay, blunt is a better way to put it. The German, and so the subtitles they seemed quite German in their bluntness. And when you actually hear the actors say it in a British way, it seems a little different.
It's tough. It's tough watching things when your only view of the German language is World War II films.
I mean, essentially, mostly it is. Yeah.
Yeah. There's other German stuff out there. Just saying, you don't need to watch Nuremberg rallies to get an idea of what German is like as a spoken language.
But it's a good jumping.
Just saying, watch Run Lola Run. At the very least, watch Run Lola Run. Is that like? There's one thing.
I've seen Run Lola Run. And to be fair to the Germans, they seem to be the ones. The most sane ones in Europe right now, so which is not what's the opposite of a heel turn, because that's what they seem to be doing here.
Yeah, I feel like a heel turn is what they were doing at the Nuremberg rallies. Anyway, yes. Chris, do you have any comments on the Disney? For some reason, we fit Godwin's Law into this podcast 8 minutes in, but
one thing that catches my eye is there's a bit where somebody gets like basically shot and evaporated, and it's kind of like Dalek style.
Yeah.
With the bone showing before everything disappears, whatever. But there's just before that in the trailer, there's I'm going to guess episode 3, but I don't know. There's a few people like kind of crouching behind things, getting cover and shooting handgun-sized weaponry, whatever, which makes me think that that's the source of it. I don't know. I'm curious what we're not getting, because I haven't seen anything Dalek or Cyberman based, and
I'm sure I'm wrong about this.
I gotta think we're getting something there.
No, I'm sure I'm wrong about this, but I'd love to see the Daleks come into the Interstellar Song Contest and just go to
lay waste to that nonsense. I don't know about that. I don't know about Daleks. Just saying. I don't know if it's gonna happen. So don't get your hopes up. What I mean to say.
I have my doubts. I have strong doubts the Daleks are anywhere near this thing.
Well, we'll see. But it's just because it's almost like their absence is speaking volumes. But
I mean, that's a way to do it. If you're going to do it, like sneak them in again, as opposed to before. It's like Daleks, here come the Daleks. Hey, everyone, it's the Daleks. And I'm like, oh man, we know.
Yeah, like Chibnall kind of did it not too badly with not having Daleks in the regular season whatsoever.
Right.
Only in specials. But then he also overdid it by having 3 in a row.
Put him in every special. Yep.
Yeah. So that's a wholesale shift in the other direction, which doesn't work.
I don't mind keeping him in the holding pen though. That's fine with me. And also, I quite liked his sort of slapped together scrap Dalek. So
yeah. One thing that jumped out at me was really cool. I mean, we kind of saw that, and they one of the things that came out from the German one that everyone sort of talked about was the animated still. The great thing about that is proper hand drawn,
yeah.
frame by frame animation by Framestore in the UK. That's not CG. That is actual hand drawn animation.
One thing I don't get sequence is where Belinda goes, "I'm fat." I'm like, I'm looking at that cartoon. What the hell are you talking about? First of all, the return of RTD's fat phobia.
She says something like, "This body shape is
unsustainable or something like that,
untenable."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You only watched the German one, didn't you, Warren?
No, I did watch the English one. I did actually, and it just seemed like, oh, is Russell going back to this? Well, okay.
No, I think she said this body shape is unsustainable because animated often they have like these tiny little waists because that's what they do in animated form for some reason. But yeah, how amusing! What an amusing little thing that happens in that Doctor Who episode because magic apparently is part of the universe and all that. But no, good trailer. I thought. Fun, exciting. Came out like Monday, I think. So once again, the stuff that we talked about
several decades ago, Monday.
Yeah, it was a little bit. But you know what? What I'm looking forward to, and based on what we know now, because Doctor Who Magazine 615 came out, had previews of the first 3 episodes in it because those will have aired by the time the next issue comes out. And based on all.
I was going to say, it just makes me wonder if the timing was purposeful in that regard as far as when the episodes drop. Because with Doctor Who Magazine coming out every 4 weeks, they've got the first 3 here. They'll have 4 through 7 in the next one, and then they'll have 8 on its own as a feature in 617.
I mean,
I guess
they only do it every 4 weeks. I don't think they time their. I mean, where was it now? SFX. I think SFX did a preview, as we mentioned, and Russell T Davies was saying how they desperately wanted episode 6, the Interstellar Song Contest, to go out the night of Eurovision, and they had like 3 plans basically. They had like one if it doesn't, one if it does, and then a completely different plan if that's not the case. And they lucked out and happened to be that's going to be the night that it goes out. The cartoon, they have a little single page cartoon of episode 2 Lux because it's Mr. Ring-a-Ding in that, and there's like a full page cartoon of it, which is kind of fun. And that mentions the Easter Bunny because, of course, that episode goes out Easter weekend, so that even ties into the original broadcast too. What I like about this, and this is what kind of I was a little down on season 1, let's face it, and the opening was not as strong perhaps as it could be, farting space babies and all that. This one is like Robot Revolution is episode 1, and you can kind of clearly see like the big retro sci-fi city that they're on, the big landscapes, there's big robots, there's spaceships flying around, there's gung battles. I mean, this feels like a proper introduction to a season, then Space Babies, and then The Devil's Chord, which was the next one on that same day, which you know what I mean? So like I'm the tone of the episodes based on these trailers and the previews is getting me, I think, more interested in season 2 than I was for season 1.
Just to go back to that Ring-a-Ding comic and DWM, what I like about it is that they're aping 1930s American animation, which they do quite well, but also it's got that, I can't put my finger on it, but I know when I see it, British comic thing. There's just the comics, British comics, kind of things, not quite that, but British comics just have a different look to them for whatever reason than American ones do, and that it's got that whatever it is.
Well, they're drawn in PAL. That's probably why.
That's right, exactly. They're drawn in PAL.
So the proper quote, Warren, is I'm all flat, and this waistline is impossible.
Oh, I thought you said fat. So there we go. Okay, all right. Well, I retract my statement then. Sorry, RTD.
There we go.
To me, it still looks like the animation style they used in Drawn Together, which
I'm ignorant of. So.
I don't know what that is. What are you talking about? What's Drawn Together?
Is I couldn't tell you what network was on. It was on Cartoon Network.
Animated reality show, basically.
Kind of, yeah, like a Big Brother,
thereof, yeah.
Big Brother style house of not really superheroes, but
animated tropes, as I recall.
Yeah, a spoof of that, which back in the day I enjoyed. I haven't seen it in forever, but yeah, I mean, there's stuff in, just to keep talking about episode 1, for example, like in RTD's preview, he talks about how like Belinda Chandra has this whole planet that literally revolves around her,
right?
Her name, with having no concept of its existence.
It's a neat idea,
and all that kind of, there's So I'm big on cool ideas, and that sounds like a really cool idea. And apparently, it's something he's been wanting to do for a very long time. So I hope he does. I hope he does well.
Isn't that also the plot of Jupiter Ascending, the Wachowski sisters movie? That's what I first thought of when I read that. I'm like, wait a minute. And that movie, from what I've heard, I haven't seen it, but I've heard the visuals are incredible, and the movie itself is not great.
Oh, we saw that in the theater on the day, and I think this is ridiculous. This movie.
But were the visuals good? Because that's what
it was bonkers. It was bonkers. Yeah. Like the visuals, like it was like, this is gaudy. Like this is basically Flash Gordon for the 21st century in a way. That kind of, and then Eddie Redmayne was just chewing scenery. It was ridiculous. But maybe it's like that. I haven't seen it in a long, long time.
And I haven't seen it at all. I just remember hearing tell of it.
Yeah. What was interesting also, just talking about, like, it's a jumble of things here, but I can't remember where was it, DWM, or was it somewhere in there? They mentioned about how Belinda Chandri was originally Belinda Finch for several drafts until they cast Varada Sethu, so they changed the ethnicity of the name. What's interesting is that Julie Gardner on stage, RFS 1000, said Belinda Finch, and everyone says, what, who's Belinda Finch? What's going on? Are they going to change the name? That's why. Now we know. She was still calling it by the original draft name. That's how long that
probably read that a zillion times over, right?
Yeah.
It's stuck in her head. Yeah.
Exactly. So a little interesting Freudian slip there at the time. But I'm looking forward to it, I think. Especially at 1 a.m. Where I get to stay up late and watch it.
Good. Godspeed to you, sir.
I'm so excited about it. I cannot tell you how excited.
Well, I'm happy you're excited. Yeah. There's no way in hell I'm doing that.
Erica says that she won't be staying up, probably. Certainly not that first weekend.
Erica's on Team Sanity.
I think she's got like a podcast or something to do on the Saturday. So she wants to be in bed for that. So maybe occasionally she'll stay up for some of these, and whenever she watches it for the first time, I'll be there to watch it with her anyway. So I'll at least watch. I'll watch it 3 times every weekend anyway. But God, I tell you, 1 a.m. staying up late, Doctor Who. After all, that's how it all started. I am just like, it's honestly the biggest. It's right now. It might be the biggest selling point for me.
Here's what you have to do. You have to find, first of all, the tail end of Saturday Night Cinema from the 80s.
No, yeah, that's a good point.
And then have old KSPS idents, and then rolling into, I don't know, some Spokane-centric festival that's going on in 1985, and then it rolls into the actual episode.
Something happening at Riverfront Park?
Yeah, there you go. Park. I did this during the pandemic when we bought, unfortunately, the second Wonder Woman movie for Christmas Day. I assembled together 80s, because it's an 80s themed movie. I edited together like a playlist of old ads from the 80s that were movie centric, and then cinema, the Cineplex stuff from the 80s and old 80s trailers, and then the popcorn guys, who I weirdly missed at the time. I'm like, oh, these little weirdos.
You have a good idea there, Warren. I might try to.
Well, it's not a good idea so much as it's an idea that you're going to do now.
I might just have to. I didn't stay up to watch Jimmy Fallon or get up to watch Good Morning America, but thankfully those are posted both on YouTube. Their edited segment on Good Morning America, about 2.5. It's always funny to watch Americans just read off a list of things that they've just been handed 5 minutes before the show to talk about something they feel like they know.
Well, Fallon especially, he seems to have no damn clue.
Fallon, he asked him like, "Oh, so you were there? Ryan Gosling is there?" It's like, really? We did this like a year ago. Everyone heard this exact anecdote. The kicker was that Gatwa's iPhone wallpaper is that photo of Ryan Gosling,
which is pretty funny, actually.
That is funny, but it's like, we didn't really learn anything different. He did feel much more comfortable, I thought, did Gatwa on the American stage as he.
Well, he's been doing this kind of stuff for a year in various forms, right?
Yeah. Because I think last year it felt like he was just kind of like a little bit of deer in headlights kind of thing.
Well, who can blame him? Like Comic-Con alone would have been really intimidating if to go from sex education where people know who he is, but this is a whole other level, right? So
that's true. Yeah. And just trying to think, is there anything else about American stuff? I mean, they might have, maybe they shot stuff for other Disney Plus things. I know they did that previously. Maybe they'll, I don't know where they are now. I know, like, I basically know where they are based on their Instagram stories and feeds and stuff.
Are they doing a Disney takeover sort of with the TARDIS like they did last year?
I don't know.
I have my doubts. I think that works once.
Yeah. Don't know. We'll see, I suppose. There's only 2 weeks to go now until brand new Doctor Who. So
2 weeks from now, it will have gone out.
That's right.
Well, Disney Plus, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll be doing, the plan so far is we'll be doing our live stream reviews on Sundays, everyone. Sunday on the Radio Free Skaro YouTube channel on the April 13th. We'll be there. Chris won't be there. Chris is going to be in Nova Scotia.
And I barely remembered that that this was happening.
Warren sends a text to us. Can we record early on the weekend of April 12th? Like maybe the 11th?
Yeah, so let me pimp. You can still buy tickets for this. Virtual CanCon, which is a good sci-fi writing thing. Right. They're having a virtual event all day. And I'm like, I'm going to have to figure out a way to watch Doctor Who and podcast during this. And I don't want to miss stuff. So it turns out I'm not going to have to. So
yeah, that's good. But like Chris and I were both kind of like, he's gonna understand why we're. No, he didn't.
No, I completely just. I'm busy, man. I got lots of stuff to do. I'm a month into a job. I'm thinking about a lot of stuff.
I understand. Also, April 12th, historic day. It is the officially Stevie Wonder on Sesame Street anniversary day. So that dating back to his appearance on April 12th, 1973, playing Superstition with a bunch of crazy kids, and it is the greatest clip in American culture.
Yeah, I mean, that's
history.
Arguably the more important news here.
Yeah, I'll be watching Doctor Who, then Doctor Who again, probably on the next day. But yeah. Now to bring us all. Yes,
I'm just gonna. I'm just curious about if Warren has a rant, prepared or otherwise, about the big bad in episode 1 being called the AI generator.
No, I was kind of slightly amused by that. Maybe RTD has the same thoughts I do on AI.
Like he wants to destroy it. What does the AI generator look like, I wonder? I don't know.
A big pile of garbage, probably.
Mm-hmm. That'd be funny if you...
looks like stolen art.
Would it be like how... If you're going to make a monster called the AI generator, or if that's what its name is, would it be a in-joke and a fitting joke to make it AI, designed by AI, thus robbing some very talented people of jobs?
Well, you could just make it look like AI by adding that really weird, stupid glow that every AI thing has.
That's true. Yeah, we'll find out. I guess we'll find out. We haven't heard much about AI taking over any visual effects on Doctor Who yet, but we'll see. I guess.
or writing jobs.
Our new motto: "We'll see." I guess.
We'll see. I guess. Anything else on the publicity stuff? We kind of worked in Doctor Who magazine a little bit in there too with RTD's production notes, talking about the trailer that leaked out on the rugby game of all places.
Yeah, I did like his comments there about not fair to the rugby moms when they yanked it completely.
Yeah, they did pull that down.
The context being that the match was apparently on iPlayer and pulled from iPlayer because of that ad, that promo, and then put back on after the fact.
And he listed a bunch of, that's the part I'm most interested in, where he's like, here's how all the various reasons it could have screwed up. I'm like, yeah, this all tracks. This all sounds like stuff. And it's just like, it's the usual stuff. These are human beings running this thing. If you had AI doing it, it'd be perfect.
That's true. That's true. I did like the Lux preview in DWM because one of the shots is an actor holding a film can. He's in a film library, which is like, did they sneak in like the Web of Fear Part 3 in there somewhere?
No, they did not. You insane obsessive person.
No, they probably didn't.
No, it's the Feast of Stephen.
By probably you mean 100,000% they did not.
No. And they've been purposely holding back any details on episode 3, The Well, by the way. I think they're sort of like trying to be very coy about just because I think for similar reasons about Wild Blue Yonder, they shot that almost entirely on in studio, so there wasn't anything to be spoiled, so to speak. So I feel like they're kind of
fine by me.
Guarded about that. Yeah. Chris, you were saying, sorry.
Christopher Chung from Slow Horses, that's his episode. Same with Rose Eiling Ellis.
That's right.
Eiling, playing a deaf role.
Which she's a deaf actress, so yeah.
Yeah.
They also
because there was a callback or somewhere in there about like what's her face from Under the Flood.
Yeah, I can't remember the deaf actor.
Under the Lake.
Yeah, he's in that.
Yeah,
he does a great job.
But yeah, I know you're right. Like the blurb about episode 3 is it's not as long. It's not super short either, but it is pretty high level. So yeah, I don't know. It's.
I mean, I like.
I'm wondering. Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, why that one? Just idle curiosity, like why that one is the secret one rather than something else. But I guess
I don't know. You may as well, if you can be. You can you don't have to say everything. I feel like I was mildly surprised at like how much we know about the robot revolution. Just the whole premise of the plot is kind of in there, but I do feel like that's like the first 5 minutes of the episode.
Return the Tractators in the Well. Done.
What I do like is like the sort of the theme of the whole scene is it's even on the poster art, is get her home. Like basically they can't get back to present day Earth for some reason. They are physically unable to do that. They are being prevented from doing that, possibly by Mrs. Flood, who appears in every episode. But what it does is that it forces them to not just go back to old reliable on Earth in the present day, which is
what a lot of last season was. Yeah,
it kind of was, and so I'm kind of looking forward to the diversity of stories. I think perhaps in this season, they're sort of restricted. They do go back to Nigeria in episode 5, but it's not in the current day. It's
it looks like it's in the 70s. I hope it's in the 70s.
I think it was in 2007.
Oh, okay.
Based on what I saw in one of these official magazines, so it might be that's basically as close as they can get, but that'll be interesting. So also they did announce that a cast member who was not in Slow Horses, but Charlie Kondu is going to be in the Interstellar Song Contest. I don't know who that actor is, but the photo they used just has real, like, just take the bloody picture already energy.
He has a real sour look on his face, which I immediately remarked to the two of you was, that is going to be my face when I watch the Interstellar Song Contest. Get on with it. Come on, let's get to whatever this is supposed to be.
You know what? I tell you. Go on, Chris. Sorry.
I was going to say I also remember him from his stint on Coronation Street back in the day.
Oh, he was in Midsomer Murders, so I can't tell if he's been in one that we haven't seen yet. Eric and I watched that a lot to spot Doctor Who actors, or if it's one that we have seen and I just didn't recognize him. But about Interstellar Song Contest, the episode as yet unseen that is causing Warren and I so much consternation is that I was both RTD promises a much darker tone than what we've seen to that episode. It's like, okay, that's good, but then they also mentions, but the song's over. He's come up with some great songs, and I'm just like,
I'm going to be turning the sound down for those. I don't know. Like, there better not be important dialogue during those songs, because I'm not going to find out.
It happened in the background while, as you say, the Daleks are just laying waste to everyone in that stadium, Harmony Arena or whatever it's called. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, Warren. We'll see how we do with that one.
Well, there's going to be an episode I don't watch again, and that's going to be it.
It might
just
be
like
the
The Devil's Chord.
I'm also trepidatious about the Interstellar Song Contest, but from completely the opposite.
Why are you? Let's judge this thing before we've even seen it. Let's do it.
Because as a fan of Eurovision, I mean, there's only so much time in the episode they can dedicate to things, and I just wonder how it's going to turn out.
It's a feature, not a bug.
The Eurovision is often referred to as the Gay Olympics, and with a gay head writer and Ryland Clark being on the thing, I'm thinking they'll do it justice, but we'll see.
I guess that makes sense since the Oscars are the gay Super Bowl, so which I do enjoy. I enjoy the gay Super Bowl, not so much the Gay Olympics.
Sometimes
because you haven't given the Gay Olympics a reasonable chance yet.
Because I hate music. Well, no, that's not true. I don't hate music. I hate
You're not big on
musicals. I hate the flamboyance and nonsense and just overall. And also, I hate the social media shutdown that I have to do during it because everybody's like, and you included, you're one of the main perpetrators, actually.
I haven't done it for a few years.
Going on and on and on about this stupid song contest. Every fiber of my being does not want to watch this. Anyway, keep going.
Well, hey, I mean, if there's one thing for about Elon Musk ruining Twitter, I mean, he's kind of ruined Eurovision Twitter.
That's a good point. Oh, so great. The winner here is homophobia. Even better. Like, this is a real Kobayashi Maru situation you got us in here.
No, how do we cheat? How do we cheat at this to make it both better? We can't.
Well, enjoying Eurovision, which is never going to happen. So.
At the end, Spock dies anyway. Spoilers, sorry, if you haven't seen Wrath of Khan.
Well, because he would rather do that than watch Eurovision. So
let's watch Wrath of Khan, or let's watch. Well, I don't know. We're gonna have to find some alternate programming.
You're right. We're just gonna watch Wrath of Khan over and
over again on May 17th. Okay, that sounds good. I just want to point out that Russell T Davies posted on Instagram this morning about how 2 weeks ago he said he did it on a photo, an undated photo on the TARDIS set. And someone commented or something to all those people who said the set was going down. Russell, when was this taken? And Russell replied to this person, "It's still standing. People lie." Shrug emoji. So there you go. Which perhaps is a nice segue to our next topic, where Jane Tranter was, of course, one half of Bad Wolf, was on the BBC Media Show. The theme of the whole segment was BBC or UK productions having a hard time finding funding and having to go for co-pros with the U.S. And Jane Tranter came on towards the end of that segment to sort of say she's not worried so much about the bigger productions and such. Like the thrust of it is the Wolf Hall, which was like season 1 they made like literally 10 years ago, and didn't find the money to make season 2 until this year. And like even the stars like Mark Rylance had to take a massive pay cut just to be like have this thing made. And so Jane Tranter was sort of like saying she's more worried about the smaller productions finding money for productions and such. And then inevitably the thing ended with a question about Doctor Who. And I think it's important to listen to this whole thing. It's a minute long, this clip that I'm going to play for you right now, as opposed to us just sort of quoting it. So here is what the host of the BBC Media Show asked Jane Tranter about Doctor Who.
And lastly, I must ask you about Doctor Who, a programme which you've worked with very closely. You'll, of course, be aware that last month there were rumours that Doctor Who was potentially facing the axe, that Disney may not renew its deal, the deal it has with the BBC. Are you able to tell us anything about that? Because there are lots of concerned fans.
Doctor Who is a 60-year-old franchise. Today, it is its 20-year anniversary since Russell T Davies and the BBC brought it back. We are halfway through a 26-episode order from Disney Plus. We got another 13 episodes of Doctor Who, another 8 episodes of Doctor Who to go, and 5 episodes of The War Between the Land and Sea. As far as I'm aware, Disney Plus have not said they're not renewing it. I think these episodes needs to go out, and we'll see what happens. But definitely, Doctor Who will continue in some form or another.
In some form or another.
That rings a few bells of familiarity.
Also, like just the way that she opens it up is like Doctor Who is a 60-year-old show. It's celebrating its 20th anniversary. Like the coded language there is like, this has gone on long enough.
It's not. They've not said they've not renewed. I'm like, well, that's a whole lot of knots in there.
You can almost see her in her chair, just kind of taking a moment to pause and think of what she's going to say.
Right.
We could also be reading into this too. I mean,
a little bit, but all the continues in some form or another is like, well, that what does that mean?
Which I'd like to say I'm perfectly fine with. If Disney's not pouring money down this thing and it's just made by the BBC, well, we had 20 good years, or 18, I guess, 18 years of that, which is perfectly fine as far as I'm concerned. So.
Well, if they can't find the money for 10 years to make a costume drama like Wolf Hall, then we might get our wish that Doctor Who is back to being multicam studio based.
Or books and comics and all the rest of it. That was a source of creative ferment. And maybe that's what the show needs. And maybe, I'm not saying I want this to happen. I'm just saying if it does, it's not the end of the world. All of us nerds are going to keep this thing going like we did last time.
Mm-hmm. Chris, you have thoughts
on Tranter's bit?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't listened to the whole thing.
Well, we played the most relevant Doctor Who bit. The most of it was just about just funding in general and stuff in the industry and how tough it is. She's towing the line that they seem to have set, which makes perfect sense. And I don't know. We're gonna find out at some point. Maybe it'll happen in June when the show has run its course for the current series, or maybe it won't happen in June. I don't know as far as what the future holds, but
this sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, one thing you said, Stephen, that is, I think, gonna be a universal truth, regardless of where things go and when and whatever, is we're going to have a gap, and probably a pretty sizable gap at that, between season 2 and whatever happens after.
Yeah,
this is not just restricted to Doctor Who too. That a couple weeks ago there was a Guardian article about just how bad the TV industry was in England generally. So I mean, and that's not just there. Look at the States. This is not related, but the Trump administration via the FCC is cracking down on Disney for their DEI. Well, that's not a great climate for which to make things.
No.
Right? Things are going to get stopped being made just to be careful, which is dumb, but that's what's going to happen. So, and that's just another factor on top of people not making a whole lot of money off of this. So I would say worldwide, you're going to see a dip of this stuff.
Yeah. And, I think... I mean, let's face it, is America a viable co-production destination at this point? As you say, Warren, I mean, there's the broadcasters and production companies are being a lot more guarded about what they do regards to this, because they don't want to get slapped down on.
And I can't see Doctor Who backing down on it. It's just not the kind of thing this show is. You really can't. You're just taking away what this show is all about if you're being worried about DEI or such nonsense. Yeah. So, I mean...
I know. I think I'm just trying to think of some examples about, co-producing with in Europe, for instance. I know that. I think Apple
the answer's
TV
right here.
couple,
CBC. Come on, CBC.
CBC. We kicked in a few bucks and got Volkswagen on board back in 2005.
All this has happened before. It can happen again, to quote some guy in a bath in Battlestar Galactica.
I don't know. I think we've said this a lot on this podcast. I just feel like the TV industry, it's, in of itself, streaming has basically made movies and TV exist in the same universe, and now we have expectations that they should all look equally as good. Which
that's technology as well.
Yeah, which ironically means that everything looks equally as bad, because everything looks bad now, because they're shot basically, with a view to put whatever background behind it once they decide what the story is in post-production. And so everything looks bad.
At the same time, you've got an entire generation. There was an episode of The Town that just came out a couple days ago that does not care about TV and film. They care more about their content creators. And I am a 54-year-old man. I don't understand it, and I'm never going to, but that's what the kids want, so that's what the kids are going to get, one way or the other.
Yeah. It's, boy, oh boy. It's, for the whole industry, it's interesting. They keep trying to wring out as much as they possibly can of all the existing IP, be it Star Wars, be it Marvel, be it,
take your pick. Anything in games, people own the rights to, I don't know. Well, that's a thing in the studio, which is actually a pretty good Apple TV show about they own the rights to Kool-Aid, so they're making a Kool-Aid movie. I'm not going to go into details, but that's one of the jokes in the show.
Oh, okay. Just like, I believe it. I believe that, Warren.
No, it's there's more to it than that. That's quite funny, but I'm not going to go. Chris knows because he's seen the first episode,
right?
But that's kind of what's going on here. People, and I've seen writers talk about, I got pulled into a Jenga movie pitch that I didn't get paid for. I'm kind of conflating 4 or 5 things together, but that's kind of thing that's going on in Hollywood nowadays. Or my other favorite, which is go write a book. We might make it into IP. Oh God, what?
Yeah, if the Disney thing ends, and the thing is that we won't. It's not like there's not gonna be a trailer release saying Doctor Who is done with Disney.
No.
Like, it's gonna come out. You're gonna find out on a Friday afternoon at 4:30 in
exactly when you're gonna find out.
A quick little article on Variety or something like that. Like, is when it's gonna happen. What would happen is if, like, hey, Doctor Who, the BBC is now partnering with, I don't know, Amazon, Apple TV Plus, perhaps, somewhere in Germany. The co-producing is one thing. The great thing that Disney has been good for is the distribution, because that's the one thing you have to get around. Is like, this is a worldwide property now, and where are you going to find a worldwide home for your product, that being Doctor Who, outside of the UK? And Disney was ready-made for it. Amazon might be made for it. Apple TV
Netflix
might be made for it. I don't think Netflix would go for it. I don't.
No. They want to cancel Doctor Who. That's a great way to do it.
They have the infrastructure
to support it.
I feel like they don't. I feel like Netflix is much more interested in creating their own IP, for lack of a better word, so they don't have to pay money for it. We own this franchise. Yeah. We own Rebel Moon, baby. This is ours.
They're epitome of a slop factory.
Yeah.
They also, far too readily cancel
that too.
Yep.
Even if it is their own property.
Unless you're Stranger Things, you're pretty much screwed on Netflix.
Yeah, and even then, it's like taking two. Like, God, they're going to be in their 30s by this time. This next last Stranger Things.
They're going to look like the 90210 cast, just to bring it back to our ancient references.
It really is. Like, there's Billy Bob Thornton, Millie Bobby Brown in movies. It's like, she's going to play a 13-year-old in a few months on Stranger Things. What is going on here? Anyway, enjoy the season of Doctor Who, kids, is what I mean to say. Because, as you said, Chris, it's going to be the last one for a while. Unless we go back to proper television making, when we used to make a show that it came out 3 months later, but that never happens anymore.
I apologize to all the young people listening to these scaredy cat olds moaning and crying about all this.
You kids don't care. You're just waiting for GTA 6 like the rest of us. Let's face it.
We are waiting for GTA 6.
I know, we all are.
As I told you offline a couple of days ago, I better come out before I see American jets buzzing North Vancouver. I will play it during American jets buzzing North Vancouver. If I'm going out, I'm playing GTA 6, damn it.
You're a punker. Put it out already.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to go back a step before we move on, maybe I missed it. I don't know if you mentioned that the pre-order is up for season 2.
I didn't mention it. No, pre-order's up in the UK, of course.
In the UK.
I imagine that we'll probably get the pre-order or the release date for the North America version of season 1, probably June 25th, which is a year and a day after the finale aired of season 1, because that seems to be the thing with Disney. So.
Yeah, and then also one thing that I guess just didn't look. There's a thing on the Doctor Who site, doctorwho.tv.
Yeah,
nice little article written by Beth Axford about fandom and the creation of fans via New Who. And
that grew up with
New Who. Yeah. So people who are like maybe now working on the show, like the one person who was the art director for The War Between, something like that. So kind of a cool little piece about just people in and having grown up with the reboot and where they are now as a result.
Yeah, it was, and hey, kids of 2005 Doctor Who, it's up to you not only to save Doctor Who, but to save the television industry from itself.
Yeah, we're too old and tired.
Yeah, make good TV, make good entertainment. Please don't dumb it down for YouTube. Please don't dumb it down for Netflix so that people can surf on their phones while watching. It's up to you. It's up to you, kids, to make it all better. Also in the Doctor Who magazine, and they also sort of time this with announcements on Instagram, is the announcements of the novelizations for the first 3 episodes, of which are being done by Una McCormack for the first one, James Goss, and then Gareth Powell is doing the third one, The Well. So that's happening. Those are coming out July the 10th. Perhaps when we hear the Doctor Who Tubi production agreement.
I will add them to my growing stack of Target novels I haven't read.
Yeah, I haven't seen the covers yet. I wonder if they're going to continue with this sort of the faux mid-70s kind of Chris Sakaleos cover.
I hope so.
Design.
They look good.
Yeah, kind of cool. But what else happened? Oh, well, one thing we'll mention is that the Radio Times 20th anniversary issue was free for download. It's free because it contains entirely pre-published material. So just like there's an added thing in Doctor Who magazine at the end of that, which is all just sort of archived material sort of packaged together for the 20th anniversary too. So just so you know what you're missing out on. If you've been collecting every issue, you've been missing nothing. So there you go.
But if you haven't, then you're getting some pretty sweet deal there.
That's true. Let's talk about some Blu-ray stuff. How about Peter Cushing, the Dalek movies? You know those that came out in the 1960s during Dalek Mania. They are coming to 4K Blu-ray on June 24th from Severin Films for an exorbitant price right now. It might be well out of my price range.
Here's what you're paying for.
Right.
Color on screen. Because there's a lot of that in these ones.
Remember
and you
the
don't
60s?
get that in today's old-timey nonsense.
Oh, God, they just muted. They would mute that down. The Daleks would be black and gray. And, well, they were black and gray, I suppose, back on the TV show. But, yeah. God, the most colorful Doctor Who things ever created. And now in 4K. I have bought, so you bought the same one, Chris, that I have, the Dalek Mania box set came with the DVD documentary.
The very original DVD release back in 2000 whatever.
Yeah, it came out on the Dalek Mania came out in 95 on VHS. It was like literally the last thing that Michael Wisher did before he died. Kevin John Davies made that. And then it came out, I think, on another Blu-ray. And then it came out on UK Blu-ray, and I think that one has a commentary with Mark Gatiss and Rob Shearman and Kim Newman, I think. And then it came out again. Kino Lorber put it out on Blu-ray a couple years ago, and that's the version I have. I have the UK version, and I have the Kino Lorber version. Do I want to get a fourth version?
I mean, you're you, so yes.
Of these films in 4K.
I haven't bought them since the original DVD release.
No, I haven't bought them at all. So I'm half tempted by this.
Yeah.
20 some years ago. The almost $100 US for the two is
come down. That's got to come down. Come on.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. I'm not paying Roy Castle's royalty fees. Come on.
No,
See, I have a perverse reason to do it, which is I have a PlayStation 5 that I have yet to buy a 4K disc for, and I've had it for 2 years or so. And I would like to have the first 4K discs be the Peter Cushing non-canonical Dalek films. That would make me laugh.
There we go. The oldest not possible thing, but yeah.
Seemingly, it's not going to be actual Doctor Who in 4K because there's still no sign of that.
That's true.
Yes, that's
true.
Despite the Tennant specials and newer being 4K HDR, there's still nothing about any releases on that front, which drives me up the wall.
I know. Only the Disney only put out they put out Andor on 4K and The Mandalorian and one of them the Marvel shows. I can't remember which one it was.
Echo, maybe I don't remember.
Oh God, no, not Echo. That came out on 720p. That's how much they cared about that.
I've never seen it. Like that and Secret Invasion, where I'm like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I do, and maybe I don't watch this Marvel stuff.
You don't need to worry about that. I don't think. No,
Ahsoka was 4K.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know if the Acolyte was.
Did it come? No, I mean, did it come out on 4K Blu-ray though?
Yeah.
Oh, really? But them on Blu-ray, eh?
I will not be buying Ahsoka. I can assure you of that.
No. Bought Andor on 4K.
That's tempting. Yeah.
I am starting my rewatch of that this week in time for season 2.
Is there a VAM situation on that?
I don't know. You know what? I bought the Blu-ray a while ago, and I haven't actually. I cracked the plastic, unlike Chris. I do that right away, so that at least I can say I did that.
Just to be different from Chris, which is a legitimate reason to do it.
But I haven't popped the discs in yet. When I did my rewatch, whenever it was on a burr, I don't know. I was building a Lego set and watched 6 episodes a night and just loved it. And
I'm going in cold. I'm going to go in cold for the second because it seems like there's 3 sets of a movie each, essentially.
Yeah.
I
tell you, I want to watch it again because I want to watch again. That's the show that has consistently just been like building a home in my mind as I think about it more and more. Even when I hated it on first watch, I think this is just because of the pacing. It just infuriated me so much. I couldn't stop thinking about that show.
Even watching it and going, yeah, I had the same pacing problems you did, but then you watch it again and it's fine. But the writing is so far beyond anything you've seen in Star Wars. Just the dialogue is freaking fantastic.
It's too good. It's too good.
And
for
not
Star
just the speeches,
Wars.
just throwaway stuff.
It
honestly is too good for Star Wars.
It's too good for Star Wars. I'm so happy that Andor gets to play out at the same time as Doctor Who, which hopefully isn't as light and fluffy as season 1 was in comparison, especially also with my other show that I watch. The 3 shows that I watch are all airing within days of each other, and it annoys me. The Last of Us season 2, which is going to be a hellish landscape, of course.
I'd rather Doctor Who was light and fluffy on season 2. I don't need it to go out possibly as dour.
That's true. I don't want Doctor Who to be disposable. That's the one thing I don't want it to be. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. But Chris, you don't have any of these problems because you don't watch either Andor or The Last of Us, and so you won't.
I do not watch either.
No, I don't watch Last of Us because I don't care.
You're just hoping that Taskmaster doesn't go all gritty and stuff. And
but what if it did?
Yeah,
I don't think you're comparing apples to apples there.
No,
I don't think you are either.
I am. I don't know anything about Taskmaster. I think I've just sussed it. So
it shows.
I see you've become a how do I put this gently? Right-wing American. I don't understand any of this, but I know everything about it.
Exactly.
That's not fair to Americans. There's plenty of Canadians who do that too. So
that's true. That is very true. Anyway, so Dalek movies coming out 4K Blu-ray. You kids, all the things that us olds like to buy. We like to buy things in successive better quality for our bigger and bigger TVs because we stay at home all the time. All you kids watching on your laptops have no idea what's going on.
I mean, that is both ridiculous and absolutely accurate.
100%.
What you just said there.
100%. Anyway, kids, I hope you enjoy our generation and our little foibles. All right.
Pretty sure they're saying right now we don't get on with it.
I know.
I mean, I don't enjoy my generation, to be honest with you.
That's true. Well, hey, if you don't want to watch 4K Blu-rays, if you're in Europe or the Middle East or Asia, potentially as things come along here, and you want to watch new Doctor Who, modern Doctor Who. And you own an LG TV, which you don't, because I've just said you watch TV on laptops. You don't have TVs. But if you did have an LG TV, you will be able to watch one of 6 different BBC Studios official fast channels on your television device. There's one for Top Gear, BBC History, BBC Food, BBC Travel, BBC Drama, and then Doctor Who. The Doctor Who one is available on LG TVs in France, Italy, and Spain.
And that's right modern now. Who?
As far as I could tell, the official BBC press release, which does not capitalize Who in Doctor Who.
Yes. Good job. There's hope yet.
It's an official press release. I think it's a tell. I think the official press releases have to include one error just to show that it's official.
To know they've been kidnapped.
Exactly. Everyone. It's like I say, this is official. You find the error, and there it is right there. It's like a code breaking thing. Anyway, it says that dedicated channel to the BBC action adventure series, which transports viewers on adventures in time and space, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't mention which Doctor or which episodes or which eras. I'm assuming it's the modern series, just because.
I was just thinking this, much as I love having classic Who on, just kicking around in the background, which is a privilege I never thought I would have. To a lot of people, younger people, and probably other people too, that's modern Who is just that. It's the exact same thing to them. Because it's 20 years old.
It is. I'd almost like that too. I mean, I know I have all the Blu-rays and stuff, but sometimes, you know what, the reason why classic Doctor Who is just embedded itself in my brain is because I just basically had my own fast channel as a kid, endlessly playing VHS tapes while I played with Lego or did something else, and I was just on in the background. And I don't have that outlet for modern Who. Sometimes I'd like to just throw on like a rant. Can you imagine like a channel on Pluto TV or Tubi or something like that, where it's just like it's modern Who and just randomly plays episode. Here's like Aliens of London, and next is like The Girl Who Waited or something like that. Right after that, like randomized sort of playlists like that from modern Who.
Bigger, I mean, Amazon has modern Who on it, at least in Canada. And since Doctor Who is, other than the new one, is not on Disney, but Disney is putting out, if it might have already, like a marathon channel for Simpsons. So,
I saw that.
So there's no reason Amazon couldn't do the same for stuff they've got, like, whatever.
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris, do you yearn for such things as well? To have fast channels of stuff you already own?
Technically, I've got that anyway, so no.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I could just set up a playlist if I wanted to.
Yeah, I know, but you know what's coming though. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's the fun, the surprise of shit, the Android invasion showing up, and you're going, no, I'm not watching that. But
find something else to do for the next 2 hours because that's while that plays out. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see if those channels spread around, because I know that there's there's classic Doctor Who channels on literally everything: Pluto, Tubi, Samsung
to be
TVs.
alive.
It is. It's amazing. It's just amazing how accessible.
Which I use that phrase
is.
a lot more negatively than that context.
But in this instance, though, having all of classic Doctor Who at your fingertips, apart from certain notable exceptions. Looks like that time is coming now for Modern Who. So there we go. Where are we next? I've lost my place in the news list here.
Adventure to Time and Space exhibit.
Listener Steven sent us this. Peterborough Museum, not in Ontario. Peterborough in England.
No, he didn't. But
was it this one or somebody else? Who sent us this? What happened? Tell us, Chris. Then you're so smart.
Else. I don't have the email in front of me.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. We were told about this, and it's the Adventure in Time and Space exhibit. It runs from May 3rd to November 2nd at the Peterborough Museum and Art Gallery. Various props and stuff in the show, assuming not the props that are currently on display in the Comic-Con Museum for the Worlds of Wonder. But there's more props to go along. They're unveiling a TARDIS console at some point during the course of this 6-month
But
exhibition.
Which one?
Who knows, Warren? It's probably not the one from An Adventure in Space and Time, which doubled for the one in the Joe Martin TARDIS, which is in San Diego right now. I can confirm that. So it'll be a different one. But which, as you say, Warren, which one? It probably is not going to be the Disney Plus one, because that one's embedded within the art infrastructure. If it is the one from the Disney Plus show,
then that's our sign.
That's our sign that it's been dismantled.
How would you even move that? That thing is giant. Like it's an entire warehouse in and of itself, more or less.
Yeah, I don't know how that would even work. So I don't know which one it'll be. Maybe it'll be the creation of the Mike Kelt one from 5 Doctors onwards that we saw at Doctor Who Experience back in the day. With the screens and stuff. That one,
I love
maybe.
that one with the extra buttons. Oh,
yeah,
that's good times.
Yeah, that was my favorite. So
I can still hear the music cue as he's dusting it off in the 5 Doctors.
Yep. £5 for tickets to this thing. £5 damn if you're an adult.
Pretty good deal.
£3 if you're a kid. I'd go to that. I'd pay. Listen, I'd be if I was in
Peterborough.
If you're near Peterborough, sure.
Yeah, I would pay. I mean, we're from Alberta. Peterborough's like what, an hour and a half north of London. That is nothing.
Once you get to London, once you go through the 11-hour flight.
That's true. Notice how you could tell I was from Alberta, Warren, because I said how far is that away?
No. Everybody in Canada does that. It's not just Alberta.
It's not distance. It's an hour and a half.
That's
away.
a completely Canadian thing. I don't know about some. Maybe Americans do it too. I have no idea.
But it's like when you're from.
Shout out to Matthew who sent in the
Matthew.
for that. There's also a thing, I don't know if you scroll down far enough, art exhibitions to accompany the adventure. There's a thing on Jeff Cummins, the art of Jeff Cummins, who did a bunch of Target and Virgin cover art, but also did apparently record covers for Paul McCartney and Lead Zeppelin. Zeppelin.
Never heard of him.
Which artwork did Jeff Cummins do for Led Zeppelin? Because this is something I've never actually heard of before. I just he didn't work with what's that company? Hypnosis, who did Pink Floyd covers.
Why are you asking us?
I don't know.
Maybe Chris might know. I sure as hell don't.
I'm not a Led Zeppelin fan to have any idea. So
no. But he did Hypnosis.
Pink Floyd, you know. Yeah.
Hypnosis did a bunch of Pink Floyd stuff. So there is a documentary on Hypnosis out there to watch about the history of making stuff like that. I'm just saying things while I'm looking for it.
Your wish casting is what you're doing.
Well, I'm looking for the artwork of Jeff Cummins and Led Zeppelin, and I can't find any. So I'll have to look later on my own time. Where are we at in the news list? I've now been sidetracked. There's a great little festival coming up May 11th in Leicester, or if you're from outside of the UK, Leicester.
Leicester. If you're outside of the UK, it's still Leicester.
It's still Leicester. Yeah, I know. But if you're going to mispronounce it, it's Leicester. It's what do we got here? It's called Recovered. It is a film. Is fabulous. Festival basically, because film is fabulous. For those that don't know, we haven't talked about it in a few weeks. Is they basically take on film archives that have been sadly left behind by their owners who have died, or perhaps people have handed them off before that, and they take them, they curate them, they sort of look at them, they assess them, and sometimes they find stuff that is missing from the BBC archives. A few weeks ago, we shared a photo that it was like this massive pile of film cans in this one person's collection. That was just in their garage. There's a lot more in the house. And this Recovered Festival is a celebration of missing and rare episodes of black and white television found in private collections by the Film is Fabulous team. This festival will feature announcements, popular shows, discussions, special guests, and much more. So look at that. Announcements of stuff that's been found. Very exciting. May 11th in Leicester, the Phoenix Cinema and Arts Center. So admission is £15. That is worth it. I bet you Tim from the Missing Episodes podcast is going to be up for that one because he's all over that. So if he does, I look forward to his report because that'd be kind of cool.
Are the Morecambe and Wise cast going to be there?
Morecambe and Wise?
Something I just invented.
Maybe. Oh, the Morecambe, the podcast.
Because that's always what they keep finding is old Morecambe and Wise.
Morecambe, yeah. Morecambe,
pardon me.
Morecambe, yeah.
Morecambe. It's like the lunch meat you make out of a certain person from a 70s TV show.
Wow, that took a weird.
It did take.
I
was
turn.
thinking of like an alien lands on him.
Where is
the alien known? Where is the human known as Morecambe?
Well, I mean, the obvious
thanks, Morbo.
conclusion here is that I am an alien.
This is not
since I mispronounce everything.
That's true. Actually, that is true. Actually,
got a real Starman 1984 John Carpenter director situation going on.
You do have a thing where you've read the English language for your entire life, but you're speaking it for the first time. Kind of vibe about you, Warren.
Well, that me and a lot of other people who read a lot.
Yeah, that's true. And talk to no one. It's just like
that sounds great to me. I'm going to continue with that.
That's true. That does sound like your.
Why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah. As you know, May 26th, this past week was the 20th anniversary of the return of Doctor Who to our screens, and that is when the BBC and Big Finish chose to release the details of the first Ninth Doctor and Rose audios. It starts with Snare coming in, July or August 2025, written by Tim Foley. That is the first story to come out first of 12 audio adventures for Nine and Rose.
No relation to Josh Snares.
No relation to Josh Snares. No, or I assume that is it a snare drum, perhaps, and they're just like each episode is a different part of the drum set that they're going to talk about.
Yes, they're pandering specifically to you.
Maybe
it's the key to time with drum kit pieces.
Ooh,
if we look at the
episode
cover,
episode 5 when they go for the hi-hats is especially poignant.
Yeah, that's true.
If we look at the cover, there's these glowy flowers and glowy kind of particly things in the front. And it just makes me wonder, because I see a lot of this in video games, that what new plugin has been invented that I don't know about? because it just seems like there's a lot of that kind of imagery around nowadays.
Oh. There's not a lot to, there's no returning, there's no Mavellans or Crotons or something in the background. So it's kind of tough to sort of overanalyze what's going to be happening.
Yeah, you sure this is a Big Finish? What's going on here?
There's
yeah.
With there being leaves and plant stuff in the background, obviously a certain Sixth Doctor foe is making a return.
Oh, the Vervoids return.
There you go.
Doctor Who Snare.
I mean, the best place to bring the Vervoids back is Big Finish for obvious facial reasons. So
that's true. Very true. Anyway, those are coming out in August. How intriguing. How intriguing to hear Christopher Eccleston and Billy Piper together after 20 years in audio form. Pretty neat. Good job, Big Finish, on making that happen. And also,
just before we jump to the last Big Finish thing, one thing that was missed earlier in the vein of 20-year celebrations.
All right.
Doctor Who Magazine Special 69.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
It's the only reason you want to talk about is to say nice.
It's coming out with interviews with Joe Ahern and Mal Young, amongst others, which that it might be interesting.
Let's get Keith Boak in there. Let's see what Keith Boak has to say.
I think you're never going to ever see that.
Come on.
I love this never-ending feud you have with a director that's never heard of you.
Maybe on his deathbed. Maybe.
Gee, okay, all right. I'm getting out of this discussion.
Yeah, this comes out April 3rd, by the way, from Doctor Who magazine. So I'll be interested. Joe Ahern, of course, guest on this podcast way back in the day. I know. On the 10th anniversary of the return of Modern Who, we're gonna attempt to do a big look back, kind of a modern, I emailed everybody and got a no from Phil Collinson and a no from probably Jay Tranter, I think, at the time too. And I don't even know how to reach out to Russell T Davies. Joe Ahern said yes, and so he was the only one that said yes. And this, you know what? Let's just turn this into an interview with Joe Ahern, and it was great. So that's back on RFS number whatever the hell it's.
Our talk of Singularo and the other 10th anniversary.
Possibly.
Won him over, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, and you know what? Like thinking about, like I was listening to Toby Haydock's Happy Times and Places talking about Rose, and just like I hadn't watched Rose recently, but I've watched it enough that I could see it all in my head, and just like it did remind me how much that looked like a little bit CBBC, and then by the time Joe Ahern takes over, it's like, okay, this looks like better television now. You know what I mean?
It's, RFS 412 from March 2014.
2014.
We did Joe Ahern Miniscope, and
was there an interview in there too, or no?
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, the interview was tagged there as well.
Oh, well, how about that?
Or actually, no, maybe that's an interview somebody else did.
That's what I thought. So, yep.
In which case,
Google has let you down.
468. Well, that's just we've done more things with Joe Ahern.
Yeah,
I've lost track of all these things. I know. As per usual.
So 468, we interviewed.
468, 10 years on is the title we used.
There it is. Talking about Joe Ahern. Now this Doctor Who magazine celebrates the 10th anniversary of that podcast with 20 years of the Ninth Doctor coming out on April 3rd, rather. So there you go. Last bit of Big Finish news before we get the hell out of here. A shorter episode this week. Congratulations.
In air quotes, yeah.
Sarah Jane and Harry are back together with, of course, as not played by the original cast members, of course, but Sadie Miller playing the part made famous by her mom, of course, Sarah Elizabeth Sladen, and Christopher Naylor as Harry Sullivan. There's a new Big Finish, The World of Doctor Who, Smith and Sullivan reunited, 3 stories coming out in whatever month that is, July. There's a great photo shoot actually in Doctor Who magazine with Sadie Miller dressed up in all the costumes that Liz Sladen did, and
boy does she look like her mom.
In those ones, it's just amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
Even in this Big Finish picture, it definitely looks like, obviously for genetic reasons, but still, the resemblance is getting more uncanny by the day here. Just kind of like Sean Pertwee.
Oh God, yeah, Sean Pertwee, I know. Especially when he's dressed up in as a Halloween party, that Instagram photo from a few years ago. Like, oh my God, that's John Pertwee. What are we doing here?
I'm going to drop some blasphemy here. If you're going to put Sean Pertwee in a new Who episode, Interstellar Song Contest kind of has to be the one. So,
there we go.
With that outfit,
I'd watch that.
Yeah, that's the reason to win me over.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure is top of mind of the Doctor Who production crew, winning me over specifically.
That's true. Anyway, that's cool. That is cool from Big Finish. That is coming out July 2025. So there we go. Is that it? That's it for our news, I believe. So Doctor Who trailers, Disney Plus interviews, new things, and also doom and destruction and pessimism about the future of Doctor Who. Did that sum everything up?
Old men ranting about nothing.
That too. Large TVs, Blu-rays, 4Ks. Kids watch things on laptops. Get off your damn phone. Go outside and play. Drink some water out of a garden hose. That's what we've determined today on this episode.
I don't know what this Wii business is. But,
Chris is part of the Utes.
That's true.
Somehow.
That is true. That's it. That's it for the show. Next week, there's a new book coming out called Exterminate, Regenerate. I'm reading it right now. It's really great, and I'm going to talk with the author of it, John Higgs. It's a superb book. It's coming out in mid-April. We delayed it as long as we possibly could before the release of the book, and also because we wanted the actual show to overshadow it. So that's coming out next week on this very show, and then 2 weeks after that, as we said, New Doctor Who is back, everyone. New Doctor Who. So
2 weeks after this.
2 weeks after this. 2 weeks after this. 1 week after that. April 12th. So April 13th will be our live streams. That's when they'll start. So more information on that to come, though. So in the meantime and in between time, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.